Alright, got the Menards locomotive here. This is the 4.5 beta edition. It's another test run. I was lucky enough to get one. I think that my opinions about it are pretty much the same as everyone else's for the most part, so I'll try not to stand around and say things that have been said 1,000 times already. They are very good for the price point. I think I and a lot of other people are refreshed to see something kind of inexpensive available brand new for the first time in probably decades. It did come with traction tires, and some people were kind of concerned about this because they are indeed flat. They are not like your typical model train traction tire, but I haven't tried to fit them, but I assume it's the same part that they install at the factory. I don't know why they would send something different from that. I think it'll work. I mean, I think it would just fold over when you went to try to install it. Like it would kind of do one of those. Like if I stick my finger through it, it kind of wants to come over like that. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good engine. If I had just bought it like this off the shelf in this condition, I would be perfectly happy, especially considering the price. So I'm really just going to go through some kind of nitpicks of stuff that I really don't like and how I fixed it, or in some cases how I think it's not fixable, what I think that Menards can do to fix it. So yeah, let's just go through a quick rundown of how it works. I'm going to turn the transformer on. And then when I turn the controller on, you heard the volume drop, because when you turn the controller on, it takes the setting that you have on the remote. It's just like a line chief remote. I mean, I think we're all familiar. Bell.
The air brake test was good, so let's get ready to move. Roger that. We are ready to roll.
The crew talk is good. The thing I really don't like about the sound is going to be the horn. To me, it sounds like there is no beginning or end to the horn. Like the instant that the air valve opens and closes isn't present on the recording. And there's also a little bit of a rhythm to it, like a pulse. You don't really want that. It's supposed to be a clean, consistent sound. But it's better than no horn at all, I guess, so there's that. Alright, I'm going to show you this light. So something that I really didn't get is that this engine from the factory comes with a blue headlight. I did remove it and I put in a yellow headlight. If my camera will stop doing that and focus. There we go. So I put in a yellow headlight. Also, the blue headlight seemed to be wired to the motors so that it was only on if the train was moving. I wired my headlight to track power so that it's on anytime the train has track power. I just think it looks better. True enough, if you go in reverse, the headlight doesn't turn off now. So that's something that I had to kind of sacrifice, but in general, I would much rather have a consistent headlight when the train is not moving than have directional lighting. So that was just my decision. And I do think that the yellow headlight looks a lot better. Alright, so let's talk about how it runs. They were having a problem with the older ones starting and stopping very abruptly. They do seem to have fixed that with the circuit board. I'll show you easing up forwards. You can kind of hear the diesel engine revs up before it starts to move, and it gently kind of takes off to a start. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, as far as controlling it, running it, I think it's pretty good. So let's look under the hood. Yeah, I already took the screws out. So first thing here, you can see my headlight install that I did. I actually cut the blue light off the board, and I just wired it back to the pickups back there, so that really anytime the train has track power, that light is on. Like I said before, with the original headlight, that light would never be on unless the train was moving. Alright, so all of the control and the sounds and the lighting is all done through this one big board. It's a pretty hardy looking circuit board. I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything obviously terrible going on. I can see, interestingly enough, there is a space for a capacitor right here that has not been used. And it makes me kind of wonder, right there, if it was the capacitor that they were having all that trouble with. Well, I don't know. I don't have any of the older models. This is the first one I've gotten, so I can't really speak to that, but I know they were having some problems with the boards in the past. I haven't had any problems with this one, so. And looking at the truck from this angle, you can see the famous nylon gears that everyone's mad about. Trying to get my camera to quit doing that. You know, I mean, it's okay. I don't really think at this price point it's that big of a deal. I really hope that they will offer replacements because, of course, after hundreds of hours of running, they probably will wear out. They'll probably crack like every other nylon gear does. But, I mean, it's the cheapest low gauge locomotive on the market by a long shot. I really don't think it's reasonable to expect all these premium features like metal gears when they are so cheap. So I'm fine with the gears. Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about this truck here. I haven't seen anyone actually take the truck off the chassis or remove the motor yet, so I'll be doing that for this video. It's held in kind of like the old Williams, just with this one screw. It goes through the truck and into the motor on top. Not into the motor, but into a bracket that's on the motor. So once you take that screw out, you can just separate them, pull the motor up and out. You can see I did turn the power off on my track. You can see this nice bracket bolted to the motor with a brass worm drive. And the truck is also free. Reach up here. You can see that the idler gear is also nylon. I will be putting that back together off camera. Something that I do want to point out about that little screw on the bottom, I know that a lot of people were saying that the engines were binding up or the gears were clicking or they would go maybe in reverse but not forwards. And I have a strong suspicion that it's because this screw isn't tight. Because that's how the Lionels and the Williams that are put together this way act. When the screw gets loose, that gear can slip. So if you have one and it's doing that, you might try just tightening up that screw. That may fix the issue. Alright, so taking another look at the bottom of the locomotive here, you can see the traction tires are on the two axles in the front, or the two wheels in the front, not on the rear. The other truck is the same. That is a little bit odd because when you go around a corner, you kind of want one of the wheels to be able to slip. So a lot of other models, they'll have the tire on these two wheels and not on these two wheels. There's nothing really you can do about that because this wheel is geared and this one's not, so you can't really switch them. But that's okay. At least it came with spares. Another thing that they added is this diesel sound horn, so you can turn the sounds on and off. Something that I really think this model needs is a way to control it conventionally. As it stands right now, this remote is the only thing keeping this model from being a paperweight. If it gets lost or it breaks or it quits working, you can't run the train anymore. There's no way to run it on conventional control. You would have to, you know, come up here and get real clever, buy yourself a Lionel E unit or a Dolly E unit, and you would lose all the sounds and the radio control. So I really think if they could add a switch on the bottom that you just switch and then you can control it conventionally, even if maybe the sounds don't work, that would be fine as long as you're able to run it. I think that would be a really good idea. Alright, well, I think that's about enough talking. Let's run the train.
Then let's go. Dispatcher, 3945 East is ready to proceed. Dispatch, I see the signal has gone from red to green. We are moving. Moving from track 5 to track 1. Track 1 left is green. First 3.
Alright, so those 4 Williams aluminum passenger cars are not light, they're not easy to pull. Of course the engine had no problem with it. 4 aluminum cars, considering the plastic gears, that might be about all I'm willing to pull with this. It'll probably manage more, but of course you're always going to be concerned about keeping wear and tear off those gears. But all in all, when you consider the price, when you consider their new manufacturer, I think this is a pretty good engine. The stuff that I really don't like, I think I could fix, like the headlight. The horn is kind of a bummer to me. But I have a fair amount of confidence that they can get it fixed before they put these into production. What I'd really like to see from them, honestly, is like high hood Jeeps, some freight engines, some other paint schemes. I'm sure all that stuff will be coming in the future. Alright, well, that's it.
3945 East, you are clear of the yard and you have the main track to mile marker 243. Dispatcher, 3945 East confirms mile 43.